What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are jumping into a review of Alaskan Road Truckers, the game. This one was highly requested and I was really happy and excited to test this one out. So I'm going to show you guys my review, tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and we'll go forward. Now do keep in mind that I do come from American Truck Simulator mainly, but I do love all simulator games and style games. Now, I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys on this one. I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. I'm also going to be playing this game a little bit differently than I normally do play, like American Truck Simulators with the realistic style. I'm really going to be testing the game out, everything from its physics to just driving, its graphics, and everything. And I'm going to show you guys everything. So starting right out, as you guys saw, you do get to pick your character. And I do believe you can also pick your company logo, and it's actually on the side of the truck, but obviously this is the demo, so you're pretty limited on what you can do in the demo, of course. But as you guys can see through here, you can pick different loads and things like that. And obviously one of the big things is you can actually walk outside of the truck. And also you can work on the truck, just like you see right here. The truck is pretty interactive, somewhat, and I'll go over that here in a minute. But you can actually add oil, add coolant, have to repair things on the road. In extreme conditions, things will break on you and break down. You have to repair it, which I absolutely loved that at first, but we'll get into that here in just a minute. Now, I will be completely honest with you guys. One, I do like the animations, like the getting up in the engine, getting out of it, even getting up in the truck, which you're about to see right here, is actually pretty cool. I think it's awesome. However, the controls and basically what the game is telling you how to do it, like the tips and everything, are not that good. The controls aren't that smooth. They're really not that easy to figure out. It actually took me quite a bit longer to figure out the controls, and I went in the settings. Now, huge downside and caveat. We're going to start right off with one of my first big complaints. This game says that it is capable or steering wheel and pedals compatible, and it's even in the controls right there. However, I was not able to get my Logitech G29, which is a very common standard entry level steering wheel and pedals, so it should work, but I was not able to get it to work at all, and that bummed me out a lot. I was playing this on a controller, and I will be honest, it was not very easy to play on a controller. Sure, you could probably get used to it, get used to its controls and everything. Now, I will say the interactiveness, like everything does something. You can actually sleep in the back of the cab on this one, climb back there and sleep. You can push buttons in the cab, like the air brake. There's even an animation for it shifting gears, which I'll show you that in a minute. I do like the animations, and I do like how interactive it is, but I do not like the controls of it, and we'll dive deeper into all that here in a minute as well. As you guys can see, I'm just playing around with it, trying to figure out what I'm doing. I didn't realize that they didn't automatically start me out with a load. I still have to go in here and pick the load. The map is actually pretty big, at least somewhat big anyways. It's not nearly as big as like American Road Truck or American Truck Simulators would be, but it is on the larger side given what this is. Now, I do believe this game was made in Unity engine. I didn't think I'd be picky about what game engines my games are built in that I'm playing, but apparently I'm starting to get a little bit pickier on it. Now, nothing against Unity and nothing against the game, but you can definitely tell this is a Unity game. Now, right here, you can also see that you do have to pick your load, and I didn't pay attention until later on. You see the driver's license, or the license required, is A. That's going to come into play here in a little bit. I didn't realize that or pay attention. I just wanted to haul something. Now, again, like I said, it really didn't give me too many instructions on it, but right here is another thing that I think is awesome. You do actually have to connect your trailer. Obviously, this truck was already backed up to it, so you have to actually drop the pin and connect the airlines right here. Now, one thing I'm going to say is if American Truck Simulator could come out with a way to actually get out of your truck and walk around, not just the way I do, but actually like this, and make it a way where you can actually connect your trailer like this. Now, the animations are cool, but this actually gets old pretty quickly and a little tedious as well. But if they can make it where you can either turn it on or off for the people that don't want to have to connect a trailer in American Truck Simulator, or keep it on for those of us like me that would love to do that, you do actually have to drop the trailer as well. And here, right here is what I'm saying. The controls are a little finicky. I thought you actually had to take the controller stick and like circle it. At least that's what I thought. But you actually just hold it one direction or the other. So it took me a little bit, and you'll see I really never got the hang of that for the couple of times that I picked up a trailer and dropped it off. But nonetheless, it's still pretty cool, the fact that you do have to get out and actually connect your trailer, get in the truck, release the park brake and everything like that. I think if American Truck Simulator could come out with some of these things, it would be absolutely goated. I mean, in my opinion, it's already goated to begin with, but I think it would be absolutely awesome. Now, another disclaimer, this does start you off, at least I chose to start off in manual gearbox mode because that's what I'm used to in American Truck Simulator. I like shifting gears and everything. And as you can see, I am playing around with the controls and I keep jumping in and out of the truck. I did also jump into the settings here and I tried to change the controls, but it would not let me change any of the controls. And I also tried my best to make the steering wheel work, but it would not let me do anything to it. So that bummed me out a little bit. I don't know if it's because I'm just in the demo mode here or if that's an ongoing issue. If other players have issues with that, comment that below, please. Now, I did start off in manual mode, and as you guys can see, it was not easy on a controller. I just couldn't quite figure it out. I really tried, and I'm going to speed this up for you guys here in a minute, but I really tried to get it going because obviously manual's more fun in my opinion, but it was not very fun to do on a controller. Like I said, I really wish my button box and my gear selector, my gear shifter, and my steering wheel and pedals would have worked for this because that would have been awesome. For the most part, I got stuck in first gear, as you can see right here. Every time I would try to shift it into second, it would just stall like that right there. It wouldn't actually shut the engine off, but it would stall the truck. And also trying to play around with the buttons, I kept hitting the parking brake on it too. So that was getting really old and really annoying. I will be honest with you guys, I tried for way too long to figure out how to put it in manual mode and how to actually shift properly to where I'm not driving like this. I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. So please forgive me on that. Don't hold it against me. Also, full disclaimer as well, I do have the settings, graphic settings set to absolutely max. I wanted to see exactly what this game would look like, and I wanted to see what would work, what wouldn't work, if anything would bug out or glitch or anything like that. And I did notice some pretty extensive frame rate drop, as you guys are going to see throughout this video a little bit. And my PC is more than well compatible enough to max this game out. I can max out every game I've ever played completely out. This game definitely should have worked perfectly fine max settings, but I did do that just so you guys can see everything on what it looks like. So this is supposed to be the very best graphical look of what the game will have. I'm not 100% impressed with it. I think it's good for what it is, but it's not great. The game definitely lacks in the graphical setting. And as you can see, as I'm going up a slight grade, I really started to struggle with that manual mode. So I do end up changing it into automatic here in just a minute. As you can see right here, which made it a lot easier to drive, and at least I was able to get going. Now we're about to start getting into some fun, because like I told you guys, I'm going to do this game a little bit differently, or this review a little bit differently than normal playtime that I do. I used to do things kind of realistic. This one, I'm really just pushing the limits and testing anything I can. I want to know exactly how it feels. Oh, there is deer in the game and animals in the game. There is a way to turn that on or off. Now, I never encountered an animal on the road. Somebody who plays this game can comment and let me know, will the animals actually cross the road and will you actually hit them? I will go ahead and give you guys a disclaimer. We will be testing the crash physics a lot further down the road here in this game. You guys will see that shortly. Now right here, I'm just playing around with the controls. I wanted to see how the stability of the truck felt, how stable it was. Can you feel the weight? And I will say you can feel the weight of the truck pretty good. It's not great, but it is good. You can at least tell there is some weight behind you and a trailer behind you. Right there, I wanted to see if the AI would react to me swerving over at them, and they didn't. They just stayed on a straight line. Remember that, because we are going to dive back into that here in just a little bit too, where we really push the AI's limits. Now, the disclaimer I also have, this is a dirt road that we are driving on. It does not feel like a dirt road. One of my huge complaints I have with this game is the truck just feels way too planted to the ground. Like I'm going 52 miles an hour on a dirt road, swerving, driving, doing whatever I can to try and make it do anything, and the truck feels very planted. Now, aside from that, as I had talked about the graphics earlier, with them being completely set out, I will say those mountains in the distance do look absolutely beautiful, but from what I have seen playing throughout this for the hour that I did, that's all they are, is just like a boundary setting where you can never get to. So it's kind of like a background thing, kind of like American Truck Simulator. Some of the cities that you drive by, you can't actually drive in. They're really just there for your view to make the game look even bigger, make the world look more immersive, or just more pretty, or landscaping, that kind of thing. So you don't ever actually see anything else. So it kind of sucks the fact that that is the best view that you're going to get. However, that's okay. Now we are entering the road here on the actual pavement, and I just got a notification that the truck needs fuel. Now, one thing I do know and I love about this, which brings me to the next point, you do actually have to get out to fuel the truck up, which I do like, but it is a little weird, as you guys are going to see. I do pull in here, and I was not aware that you have to pull into a very specific spot within a small threshold. If you look right there in the middle of my screen, that little green icon that pops up, you have to get that little green ball as close to the fuel thing as possible. I didn't realize that, so I got out and tried to fuel there before I realized it. And then right here, you'll see I'm backing up just to see what the threshold is. The threshold is a really small threshold, in my opinion. It's not quite perfect, but it is what it is, of course. So now you can get out. Like I said, one of my favorite things, you can actually fill the truck up. So you do have to grab the actual fuel nozzle and stick it in the tank, which I think is cool. I think if American Truck Simulator could actually have that in the game, that would be cool, or at least make it a way where you can turn that feature on or off. Now, it does appear as though the fuel pump doesn't actually read anything unless that was quit, and that's just the total. It doesn't actually pump. Maybe it's like instant anyways. So that bothered me a little bit, but no big deal. That's just a small feature that we can get away with. But anyways, we put fuel in the truck there. Now we're going to get back on the road. And now we're going to be driving on the highway, driving down to where this road or this trailer is delivered for this delivery, whatever I just tried to say there. We're going to make our delivery now, finally. And now we're really going to get to test the limits of the physics, the graphics, the everything. I can't see anything that way. Hopefully nobody's coming. Otherwise, we're going to test the crash physics even earlier than I was anticipating. Now, one thing I will also say about the map, it just feels really, really small. Right here, let's see if the AI reacts. Nope, they didn't react. I just slightly missed it. I was actually trying to sideswipe them. They really didn't react. They just stay on a straight line. The AI drivers in this game, they do have a little bit of sense, and you'll see in a minute, they will overtake you, like going on, coming to overtake you, which I think is cool, but that's about the only, like, actual liveliness of the AI traffic, if that's even a word, if that's even a saying. That's the AI traffic just feels like all they are is a texture. Like they don't really have life to them. Yes, they drive down the road. Yes, they can overtake you, but you'll see what I mean here in a minute when we start to really test the crash physics of it. They just seem like all they do is go down one main path. It's almost like the world is empty. And honestly, speaking about the world, like I said, the map is a little bit too small in my opinion. As well as, if you look, all you're really going to see is trees. That's really all this is. You're going to be driving. There is some good views, as you guys will see. We'll go over some bridges and see some water features. Plus, you have the mountains in the background. But really, all you're going to see is this look right here. It's just going to be road or dirt road and trees all along you with an occasional car going down the road. So it really has just empty feeling to it. And it does kind of bother me. Again, I know I told you guys I'm going to be really, really picky on the game. Right here, I'm driving off-road compared to the on-road. I wanted to see if there was a difference, and sadly, there is no difference whether you're driving on the road or off the road. And I wanted to test the sign. You guys saw it. It got sent flying. So that made me really excited for the crash physics for the car after I saw the sign went flying. We'll come back to that in a minute. But again, I'm just testing the stability of the truck. If I go in the road, does the truck start to be a little bit less stable, or does it have any kind of off-road physics? So far, it did not. That dirt section that I just drove in is exactly the same. Right here, you do have a CB, which is kind of cool. It does remind me of the old 18 Wheels of Steel convoy game, or the 18 Wheels of Steel game, if you guys remember. Some of you may have played. And then right here also, I absolutely love. You do have a functional, well, a semi-functional sun visor that can actually be pulled down and block some sun from you. I don't think I was doing it completely right. American Truck Simulator absolutely needs to get a sun visor that's functional like that, where you can actually just push a button and it flips down, especially if you're someone like me that uses that realistic graphics settings where those sun rays just absolutely blind you coming through the windshield. So that'd be nice to have. Now you can see I'm starting to get a little crazy because now I'm already getting kind of bored with it. And though you can see the trailer did want a jackknife, the truck was still very stable. So it's like the truck is stable, but the trailer is not. So we're getting ready to make our turn here, and I'm going to take it a little faster than I really should have, just because I want to see what it feels like. And like I said, you could feel the weight, but you saw right there, it was very stable. Like I could have probably taken that road at Mock Jesus right there at that turn, and it probably would have been just fine. So that's another thing that also bothered me. The driving physics of the game, the off-road physics, which again, we're going to get into that in a minute. I understand this isn't an off-road game, but it would be cool to at least have some kind of physics that simulate, hey, you're going in the dirt, you're going off-road, something's not right here, or at least, you know what I mean. At least shake things up a little bit, like American Truck Simulator. Again, and here you guys can see the absolute insane frame rate drop, and that happened a lot during my entire time playing this. I know you guys are probably gonna get mad at me for comparing this to American Truck Simulator. Unfortunately, that's just one of the top games, so everybody's gonna compare it to that game. Just like everybody's going to compare any open world crime game to Grand Theft Auto. So it's just those games have set the base, or at least the tone, for these other games here. So we are finally approaching where we're going to deliver this. And right here, we're going downhill, and it does start to get a little swervy, or curvy roads anyway. So I'm going to test the stability one more time just to see how it is. But so far, I'm not impressed with the physics. I'm not impressed with the graphics. I'm not impressed with the stability. I'm not impressed with the AI in it. I am impressed with the animations. I am impressed with the fact you can get out and connect your trailer and disconnect your trailer. I'm impressed with the fact you do also have a functional sun visor. And that's pretty much it so far. Now right here, even the parking the truck is pretty easy. You just pull into a spot right here just like this, and there was another spot over there I could have parked in. And now I do know this is just a demo. It does get harder with the actual game, where it's a little bit harder to actually park the truck. And then you actually have to get out and talk to a guy here to deliver the load officially. But of course, first, before you do that, you do have to disconnect the trailer, just like I'd already forgot. And as you can see right here, I still, like I said, never got the hang of actually dropping and raising these legs on the trailer. It is a little weird to do on a controller. Now, I'm really hoping that for the real game itself, that the steering wheel, button box, pedals, everything like that works fine, because it just wasn't quite that fun playing on control. So now that we have got our trailer dropped, I really wanted to push the limits of the truck now that it's empty. I will say you do notice the weight difference. They did a good job of actually giving a weighted feel when you're pulling a trailer without a trailer. So I wanted to test the physics, and as you can see, the truck just absolutely stops on a dime and turns on a dime. Actually, I pulled my park brake right there. I was trying to drift the truck to see what it would do if I can lose control, like with ABS or what have you, and it does not. As you can see, my biggest complaint is the truck is very planted. And right here, yes, you can feel when you're taking a turn too fast, but it doesn't feel really any kind of risk at all, if that makes sense. Like, you really just don't. You can feel that you're going too fast, but you don't feel like you can't go any faster, if that makes sense. So now that I don't have a trailer, I just wanted to, like I said, completely test the truck out, driving all crazy, going fast, trying to drift the truck, take shortcuts. You can lose control of the truck just like that if you take a turn too fast. But again, I'm not worried about flipping the truck just because of how planted it feels. So now coming up, we are going to test the crash physics of the truck. Like I said, we are going to plow into some cars and stuff like that just to see what would happen. And I tried to sideswipe that one right there, but as you can see, it went too fast. Now, another cool thing that this game actually has for it is you do have your own garage in the game. I was really hoping you could just pull your truck right to the garage and be able to pull through it and park it. As of right now, at least in the demo, I couldn't. You probably can if you upgrade the shop, or in the full game itself, of course. But this is pretty cool. The fact you have a shop, you can actually park your truck in, you can work on your truck, repair your truck. But there's also a computer in here that you can buy parts, buy new trucks, pick up loads, see the map, everything like that. And I was actually just walking through to see how interactive it was, if I could open up the door, or, just what was interactive or anything. And so far, there wasn't really anything interactive in the shop here, except for the computer right here, which is pretty cool. Again, like I said, you can hop on it just like this and check it out. And you can see just about everything there. So immediately I went straight to the truck dealer because I wanted to see what trucks are available. Now, remember, these are all fictitious trucks, which means they're not real. You're not going to find a Kenworth or a Pete in it. They do resemble some of them. And of course, you do also have your DLCs. Now, I did try to buy another truck in the game too, but unfortunately, I didn't have enough money in order to buy another truck just to try it out. But I'm assuming they're all just different skins. Maybe they have a little bit more power, maybe they go a little bit faster, and maybe a different interior. But I wasn't really impressed enough to really grind in the game and try to buy another truck. But it is cool nonetheless that you can buy new trucks in the game and different trucks. Now, also, one thing to note, if you see right there on the top of that truck, you have class 3, class 2, class 1. That is kind of what I was saying about in the beginning, where you have to have a certain specific license and a certain specific class in vehicle without hauling things, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, I really didn't like it. I just want to be able to haul. And if my truck's not powerful enough to do like some oversized load or heavy load or anything like that, I really don't want it. Now, the other thing that bothered me about this truck specifically, it's got the big ram bar on the front of it. So I thought that that meant for sure there's going to be things that you're going to hit and crash into. And maybe there's like a crash physics on the game. And then that ram bar would prevent the truck from getting smashed up. You're about to find out that that is completely wrong. You'll see that here in just a minute. Now, I did try to get a loan out. You can at least get a loan, which I thought was pretty cool too, and you can even see your interest and everything. I do like currency in the game or an economy in the games, and I'm kind of picky on that too. So I wanted to get in and see if I can actually get in from the passenger side like Grand Theft Auto. And fun fact, yes you can. You can get in from the passenger side and he climbs over just like you can in GTA. I thought that was interesting. I know some games, if you get in on the passenger side, you literally just sit in the passenger seat. So remember what I said about the off-road physics in the game. So right here, I found a little bit of a ditch, and I really wanted to test the off-road physics of the game and whether or not the truck would even operate off-road or would it feel any differently. And I wanted to test the suspension of it. So we went down this little hill, and one cool feature that I like is, as you can see those rear tires, the truck does have what looks like an independent suspension on the truck. So they do independently. There goes the front, and then there's the back compressing. I do like that aspect of it. They at least got that, but unfortunately, it didn't seem like it didn't matter whether or not you was going up a hill or off-road or dirt or grass or gravel or anything. There was no physics for that. Now, I am getting ready to show you. There's a car passing me right there, which is kind of what I was talking about. They at least have enough sense to pass you, but they don't have enough sense to the point where they feel real. They just kind of drive on one straight path and that's it. Now right here, we are going to come back to that because I want to test the water physics of the truck and whether or not the truck will handle differently. So right here, as you can see, we kind of dip down in there. I wanted to see if there was a mud physics, and there is not. The only physics it has is that hill, and you can hear the sound changes. But then I also wanted to know what happens if you back into the water, or what happens if you go deep into the water. And right here, even going over the rocks, there's still nothing. All it is a sound, and let's see what happens when you go in the water. That's all that happens right there. You just close your eyes and it gets reset. It's like we took a nice little frosty nap there. We did our polar bear plunge, but in the truck, and then we woke up and somehow got on the road. So that kind of bothers me too, but again, I know this isn't any kind of like watercraft game or anything like that. It would just be nice to have those kind of physics in a game at least. That is one thing I will say, American Truck Simulator does at least have ice physics in the game, even though they're only incorporated in the World of Trucks game. Now, let's get into the smashing details. Right there, as you can see, the signs, the road signs, when you hit them, they do go absolutely flying. So I want to test what happens when you hit a car. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with just a slight little love tap. We are going to try and catch this car right in front of us and give it just a little love tap to see what will happen. And that car is going fast. So here's what also bothers me. We're going down a dirt road going almost 50 miles an hour, and that AI is flying. And it's taken me forever to catch up to him, and I just couldn't quite hit him. I may have pushed him, but let's pit maneuver him. That right there is all that happens. That's all we did. Nothing happened from it. So now let's test absolutely smashing a car. Right there. That is all that happened. We got a little flashing light, and as you can see, I did damage my vehicle. So now there is actually damage on my truck, but there is no physical damage. So now I want to know what will happen if I smash into a bigger vehicle, like a cement truck, and we go really fast and do it like a head-on. Let's give it a try right here. See what will happen if there's going to be physical damage to the truck, if it'll completely break out the truck, or total the truck, or stall the truck, or what will it do? This is going to be kind of my final real hard part of testing. And the exact same thing happens, just like that. You just get the little flashing light saying I made a mistake, and as you can see, there is no physical damage on the front of the truck at all, which kind of bums me out because it is a fictitious truck, so I assume that there would be crash physics of some sort, but there is not, unfortunately. And then right here, you'll see that AI did go into the oncoming with his turn signals and overtook me. That's about the only sense of life that the AI have in the game. So overall, would I recommend this game? No, I would not recommend anyone to buy this game. However, I don't necessarily hate it. I think it has a great foundation and a good platform. However, I do believe that if American Truck Simulator could incorporate just a few of the good points of this game, there would be no need to have any other game really made, if I'm being quite honest. Now, this game, would I, like I said, would I recommend it? Anyone buy it? Absolutely not. Is it worth maybe $5 of American US dollars or less? Yes, I think it is. One of the issues I have with this game is it's not very long-term playable. I got bored playing this game very, very quickly. So I wouldn't recommend this game really at all unless you can get it really, really cheap. I would definitely recommend trying the demo out first. So there's my 2 cents. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely hit subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned. We are going to be going back and trying more demos out and trying more games out. So comment below a trucking game or a simulator game that you think I would like or you would like to see on the channel, and give you guys my honest review of it. Definitely go check that out and comment below. Also, we will be returning to our starting from scratch series here in about another couple more videos, maybe 1 or 2 more videos, and I have something to reveal to you guys in that video, something pretty good that a lot of you guys have been requesting. I think you're going to like, so definitely stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this brutally honest review. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video, and as always, everybody, I'll see y'all in that next video.